Keena Ford and the second grade mix-up. Wednesday, August 25th, 4:30 p.m. I'm Keena, and I am the most important person in this journal because it is my journal. But there are some other important people too, like my mom and my brother Brian. I live with them in our apartment in Washington, D.C. Brian is starting middle school, and he thinks he is so cool. But he still sleeps with his blankie. Ha! I haven't told his friends yet. I'm waiting for the perfect time. My dad is really important too. He lives in Maryland, and I visit him on weekends. He has a bald head and a fish named Henry. Someone else who is important is my very best friend, Eric. He and his dad live in our building in the apartment right above ours. This other girl in our building, Tiffany Harris, says I can't be best friends with a boy. But what does she know? I tried being friends with her, but all we did was have stupid tea parties, and her tea tasted like a wet paper bag. I guess I should write down that Mr. Lemon is important too. He teaches time out. It's the class where you go if you broke a rule by mistake. You go there when the other kids go outside to play after lunch. Mr. Lemon and I spend a lot of time together. I think I will probably write about some other people, but they won't be as important as the ones I already said. My mom got me this journal because I behaved myself at the doctor's office this afternoon. It was my back-to-school checkup, and I had to get one shot. I cried, but I didn't pinch anyone. At the doctor's office, the nurse is allowed to stick you with needles, but you are not allowed to pinch. I learned this last year when I had to get a shot. The nurse said, "This will feel like a pinch for just a second." And then I said, "Yow," because it hurt, and hurt for a long time. Then I said, "That did not pinch for just a second. It pinched for a very long time." She just looked at me. So I showed her what I was talking about. I grabbed her arm and pinched hard, just so she would know what it really felt like, instead of telling kids it will only pinch for a second. Then I learned that you never ever pinch or you get in big trouble. Last year I did not get a journal, but this year I was very good. So Mom let me pick out my journal myself. She said writing in a journal is a great idea because I can get my feelings out without yelling or pinching, and I can write down the things that you are not supposed to say out loud, like, "Brian just passed gas." I say a lot of things that you are not supposed to say out loud. I think I will have a lot to write in my new journal. I am a very good writer for my age. My teacher last year told me that. She also said that if I spend more time writing and less time worrying about other people's business, then I could be a famous writer someday. But if I don't pay attention to other people's business, what will I write about? Mom bought me a dictionary to go with my journal so I can spell big words. Already I had to look up attention, worrying, and business. But I didn't have to look up dictionary because it's right on the front of the dictionary. Isn't that handy? Thursday, August 26th, 4 p.m. Look, so far I've been writing in my journal every day. I knew I would have a lot to write about. Today was a big day because it was the last morning of camp for Eric and me. Last night, Eric called me and sounded very mysterious. He said, "Be sure to wear your camp t-shirt tomorrow." "But Mondays are camp t-shirt days," I said. "Tomorrow is Wacky Thursday." I had already picked out my final Wacky Thursday outfit. I was going to wear what I wore for Halloween last year when I was a cat who was also a princess and also a witch. "Just please wear your t-shirt, Keena. I will explain the plan tomorrow," Eric said. "Or you could explain it right now," I said. "What's that? Keena, I can't hear you. I think we're going through a tunnel." Then I heard a clicking sound as he hung up the phone. I know that sometimes when people drive through tunnels, their phones stop working, But there is no tunnel in Eric's apartment, unless you count the time we tried to dig a tunnel to my apartment through a loose floor tile. We got in big trouble for that one. I thought about not wearing my t-shirt to show Eric he's not the boss of me, but I was too curious to see what he had planned. So when Eric arrived this morning, I was wearing my t-shirt and my cat ears. I opened the door to see Eric in his t-shirt, hiding something behind his back. "Ta-da!" he said, and held out 2 permanent markers. "Huh?" I said. "When we get to camp, we'll get everyone to sign our t-shirts with a permanent marker. Then we will always remember our friends from camp." Eric seemed very excited. I tried to act excited too, because even if Eric's great ideas aren't that great, he is my very best friend. "Okay," I said. I was thinking to myself, what's so great about 2 old markers? But at least I had my cat ears. You know what, though? Eric's idea was really good. We got all of the other kids and even the counselors to sign our t-shirts. Everyone else wished they had worn their camp t-shirts too. It was lots of fun, with only one problem. The problem was that the ink went through the shirt and onto my skin in some places, so it says Nancy on my arm and Leonda on my stomach. I can't quite seem to wash it off, but I'm sure my mom can fix it with a little scrubbing once I show her. 7 p.m. Every day after camp, Eric and I have been working on our playhouse. Well, it's not really a playhouse. We call it a homework hut. It's a place for us to sit and work on our homework once we are in 2nd grade. 2nd grade has lots of homework, so Eric and I need a pretty quiet place to work on all of it. And since we know for sure that we will be in the same class, it makes sense for us to work together. We have a big box from Mom's new refrigerator. Eric got 2 old pillows that will be our seats. I have been painting the homework hut. We keep it on the balcony behind my apartment, and we cover it with plastic bags every night. It looks really, really cool. It is going to be so fun to do our homework in the homework hut. I think 2nd grade is going to be the best year ever. Friday, August 27th, 8 p.m. Today was the worst day ever. Last night I forgot to put the cover on the homework hut. Mom called me to set the table when I was about to cover the hut. I knew she had made a pudding pie, and that is my very favorite dessert, so I didn't want to make her mad by not setting the table right away. Then she might say, "No pudding pie for you, Keena Ford." So I got my pudding pie, but I ruined the homework hut. We had a thunderstorm, and the whole thing is wet. It's bad. Really bad. The paint dripped all down the side, and now it looks like it says Hork Hup. But that is not even the most awful thing that happened today. Here is the most awful thing. Eric and I are not going to be in the same class. I got a letter from school today, from the school principal. At first, I was afraid that maybe she had found out that I was the one who got the jump rope stuck in Mr. Lemon's DVD player by mistake. But the letter wasn't about Mr. Lemon's DVD player. It was about Eric and me not being in the same class for sure. Know why? Because Eric is a boy and I am a girl. That's right. Our principal is putting boys and girls in different classes. I hope this doesn't mean my classroom will have a lot of pink. Now there's no reason to even fix up the homework hut.